Good evening, everyone. My name is Jessica Balsley, and I am the founder of The Art of Education. My husband, Derek, and I are the co-founders, and we are ridiculously relevant professional development for art teachers. Thank you for coming tonight. We're going to be covering AOE Classes. This is a great chance for us to kind of give you the overview of what we have for professional development for art teachers and give you a chance to ask myself personally any questions that you have about our courses and any comments and suggestions that you have for us as well. So in getting started here, I want to talk a little bit about how our online classes got started. And it was basically an idea where I was an instructor online for a college, and I was teaching regular education students, and while it was fulfilling, I felt like there was something missing. I missed that camaraderie, and I missed something about the feeling you get when you're talking about things specific to art education. I wouldn't have been a teacher if I wouldn't have been an art teacher. That was my calling. And so I said to myself, what if I was just teaching art teachers? Well, that hardly exists. It's very hard to find. So then I said to myself, well, what if I created something where only art teachers could dive deeper into topics that they're interested in, and it could be online. I have young children at home. I know a lot of you have busy lifestyles, and even in a rural community, you probably have to drive 3 hours just to get to a university that has a class. And that class may not even be specific to art teachers or with other art teachers. So that's kind of where the brainstorm idea for this came. I thought, why can't it be easier for art teachers? So we set on the journey to develop our online courses. And I knew that they had to be super relevant to art teachers too. I was very interested in certain topics, but I hadn't had a chance to dive very deep into them in my undergrad. So we'll kind of get to that in a little bit. But the reason that we started them is just to provide more for art teachers. So our online courses, we have over 16 classes to choose from. You can see a grid of them here. You can see all the different choices that we have. And the philosophy behind each one is that you may have covered it for perhaps a week in your undergrad. Maybe classroom management was just like, for me, I guess they hardly covered it. It was just a huge breeze. And they're like, well, make sure nobody cuts themselves with the X-Acto knife and you're good to go. And I thought, what if there was a whole course on it, something that went really deep into classroom management, where you had 4 or 5 weeks of just talking with art teachers about the things that we face. For example, in classroom management for art educators, you see so many students. How do you learn their names? How do you, get your rules established when you see them the same amount as in 1 week as classroom teachers see students perhaps in a whole year? So it's very different. So that was kind of the philosophy. What topics are hot in art ed? What topics do art teachers really need to know more about? And what are schools, for example, our assessment course is one of our most popular classes because there's a lot of assessment initiatives coming down, and many art teachers feel like they're left in the dust because all the samples in your professional development are for general teachers. Yeah, you can make a connection, but my philosophy is you should have to make a connection. I want art teachers to immediately feel at home, and that's kind of what our courses do, because there's so many unwritten rules that you don't have to talk about when you're already in a room online with 20 other art teachers. You can get deeper faster into the topics. So all of our classes will guarantee that you have instructor feedback for all of your assignments, and we'll get to peek inside a class here in a minute. I know I've taken online classes before where online instruction has a wide variety of quality associated with it, and ours is one of the highest. We really value instructor feedback. So have you ever taken a class where you go through all the assignments and you hardly get any feedback and no one tells you exactly, your instructor doesn't guide you through? I have, and I thought, that's exactly what I don't want. So we have an instructor feedback for every single assignment that you do, and then there's also classmates that are going to interact with you and give you suggestions, so you're not alone. You don't feel alone with your work. There are no specific times you have to be online, so they're work at your own pace as long as you meet the weekly due dates. And the weekly due dates help keep you on track, help keep you to finish on time, because they are for 4 weeks for a 2-credit class and 5 weeks for a 3-credit class. So there is a start and an end time, but maybe you have some time on Sunday afternoon, you can work ahead. You get the entire syllabus at the beginning, which for people with busy life, who doesn't have a busy life, I like to know that, okay, I can actually work ahead if I need to and know what's coming up. The university I taught for wouldn't let us release assignments but every week, so you couldn't see ahead, and I thought that's ridiculous. Everybody likes to plan. I'm a planner, and so it's very transparent. Everything's very open-ended, and you have lots of time to complete things. So you'll be able to have that flexibility. There's no times you have to sit online. There's no lectures at 9 p.m. You can work at your own pace. And all of the assignments have 3 components to them. There's research, where you're looking into something, doing some reading, doing a web quest. There is some type of discussion with your colleagues. What do you feel about pre-designed curriculums? Do you think they're okay? Would you rather design your own? Is it helpful? Is it not? And then there's an application where you actually get to create something, a piece of your curriculum, and an assessment to use with your Van Gogh lesson. So the nice part about that is there's a little bit of everything. It's not just theory, because I think that's one of the biggest issues that I see today with a lot of material that's put out there. It's theory, 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 but where's the practical application? And that's what I feel our courses do best. I don't like my time to be wasted. I know you probably don't either, especially since we're all our jobs are consuming enough. And so it's my guarantee to you that it won't waste your time. Everything will be practical and relevant and applied directly to the art room for the K-12 art educator. Everything's very customizable for you to take it your own path for your own students, for your own demographics, and tailor your assignments to meet what you're teaching in the classroom, what you're interested in to look into more. And so we really value that as well. And the best part is it's only for art teachers. I know in most professional development I've been in, I'm sitting there and I feel like I am the black sheep. One of my colleagues said, I'm on the island of misfit toys. It's the art teacher, the music teacher, the PE teacher. Even at the high school, sometimes you feel left out. And in here, if you're not an art teacher, you're left out. Not necessarily. We've had a lot of different teachers take our courses, but pretty much everyone is an art teacher. And I think that is so powerful, because that rarely happens unless you have a huge district meeting. So those are some of the highlights of the benefits of the courses, and you can see all the topics depending on what you want to dive deeper into, what you want to work on, and the possibilities are endless there. So you may be wondering, what are people using these classes for? And there's so many different things you can actually use our courses for. So, you can have 2 tracks with our courses. You can take the grad credit option, which is $250 per credit, or the no credit option, which is $100 per credit. And I'll walk you through the differences a little bit and tell you how different teachers have creatively used our courses as well, because it is professional development, new learning, but your motivations may be different. So with the grad credit option, it's accredited by the Higher Learning Commission through our partner, Morningside College. So they are degree level, 500 level graduate courses. And with that means you can use them towards a master's degree if your program accepts electives. You can use them for a master's degree through Morningside as an elective. You can use them for things like license renewal if your state accepts HLC accreditation, which we haven't found a state that doesn't. You can use them for salary advancement. Most salary advancement programs require a pretty high level of rigor, and we definitely have the highest type of grad credit you can get for our courses pre-approved by our educational partner. So that's guaranteed for you. Other teachers may choose the no credit track, and those teachers are usually wanting to take classes for things like their own learning. iPads in the art room is a super popular class that we offer, and a lot of teachers are being thrown iPads, and in May they get an iPad and they say, take this home over the summer, play around with it, and in the fall we'll be implementing it in a couple days of quick general staff training, and you're suddenly supposed to incorporate this tool in the art room. Well, our iPads class was designed for that. If you have iPads or you want to try to get iPads, it helps you with specific art-specific lessons of using the iPad. So you can see how it could enhance your learning and make your job a lot easier as well. We also will, for the no credit option or the credit option, can give you professional development hours. So I know some states need, like for example, 120 hours every 6 years. Well, art classes are a lot of bang for their buck. For $100 for 1 credit or $200 for a 2 credit class, you can get 80 hours of professional development, contact hours that is, on a certificate from us. So you could chip away at your hours with one thing at a time, 1 hour at a time, or you could get them all done in a couple months with our courses and get some valuable things to take into the classroom. So I think that's one of the benefits, and a lot of people don't know that we do that aspect as well. Another really cool idea one art department did is they did a group department sharing with the classes, so that they had 10 art teachers. Each art teacher throughout the course of 3 months took a different AOE class. And then they brought everything back once the last person had completed their class. They all came together and had a big powwow and shared out the information that they learned in their each individual class. And you might think that's like cheating or something, but I thought it was brilliant because each person got to pick something they were interested in and the whole department benefited with all these ideas. I'm all about sharing. So everything you get in the classes, you get to keep, you get to take and use, and your classmates might create, for example, in our assessment class, the classmates might create an assessment, like a portfolio assessment or a formative assessment sample. You're always creating all these assessments in that class. Well, you don't just get yours that you create, you get to view and download all of the other participants. So you might walk away with 100 new assessments to use, or at least to take and tailor into your classroom to give you more ideas. And I think examples are really powerful. I know sometimes you can talk and talk and talk about something, but until you see an example, it's very, very powerful. So that's a great benefit to the sharing aspect of the classes and the camaraderie. So there's so many different ways you could use the classes to meet your needs. Just checking questions here. So it looks like someone are talking about some smaller classes too. Everyone's just kind of talking about what classes they teach. So I don't see any class specific questions here, so I'm going to keep going. We are going to peek inside a class here so you can see. I know a lot of times when you're signing up for online learning, it's kind of an anxiety thing because you've never done it before, and we have so many people write to us and say, I've never taken an online class before. Can I do this? Absolutely. We've had retired teachers take our classes because they just want to learn more about it and share it and become experts in their craft. So when you log into a class, let's say you've paid for the class, you're in the class is ready to start. It will show you who the members are of your class. So all your classmates' faces are there. You get to know them. I think we get to know each other in the courses just as well or almost better than in seated class, because in a in-person class, you can sit in your seat and theoretically the whole time just sit there and kind of do your work and not talk to anybody and slide by. Well, in online learning, you kind of have to interact so the teacher knows that you're interacting, and people are it's just so fun because our teachers are really nice. I think everybody's just been fabulous, and they are so excited to collaborate and so supportive of each other, and you just don't feel alone anymore. One of our teachers had been getting some grief from, she was new moving in after this long retired teacher who was apparently amazing. Well, anyway, she was feeling so bad because everyone kept telling her, well, you're not going to be like so-and-so, and are you really good, as good as the old person? And her confidence was just down. And she took our instructional strategies class, and she's like, I feel like I can do this now. I have everybody's support. I have a plan in place. I am a good art teacher. I am a qualified art teacher, and I can do this. And it was just that boost she needed to feel validated in her profession. And a community online will do that. So then you have your icon here, and you just download the syllabus at the start. You can view every single assignment, every single thing that you want to know about the class will be there, so you can work ahead. And then each assignment is in a discussion board. So if you click on the discussion board, it will show your assignment, and that's where you interact and post your assignment all in the same place. So discussion board for digital mediums is where you would post that assignment, interact with your classmates, download things. It's all housed in one simple spot. That's where your instructor will give you feedback. That's where you will do all of your work. So it's very streamlined, it's very simple, and it's very social. It's fun to talk with other art teachers. Moving on here, I'm going to show you here a sample assignment as well. They're so varied, but like I said, there's a lot of different there's 3 different components to each one. First is some research. So here you're going to be reading a chapter in a textbook in this assignment. Then there's going to be a discussion about, this one's about structures and routines for managing the art room. So what structures and routines are working for you, what aren't? What routines do you want to revamp and why? And so you'll talk about some of those things and work through those problem solving with your classmates. And then the creation component comes in where in this assignment you would create a mini lesson detailing how you're going to show your students a procedure and model that, a mini lesson for modeling how we wash our hands, how we line up in the art room, things like that. And then you can take that directly and use it, and you've really had a chance to think deeply. Sometimes we get so busy we don't do these things on our own. And so what I've designed is a reason, well, my teacher said it's an assignment for my grad class. I have to create this assessment. It's something you were probably going to be doing anyway, but it gives you that boost and a little bit of a push to actually create it. Because I know I read things online all the time and I see excellent articles, but do I actually make it and create it and do it for my classroom? Sometimes, but sometimes it's hard to fit that in. So this gives you that excuse to fit it in. A lot of our lessons involve Pinterest too, where we look for new ideas and share them, and people are really tickled with that because, you know, our teachers just love Pinterest. It's a great sharing tool. And then you can see here a little interaction, and we can definitely provide this for you if you need to, but where someone posts their assignment and then their classmates are responding back and forth in the instructor, and hey, how do you do this? Have you heard of this app? No, I haven't. That looks really neat. Oh, I really like how you did this. Did you try it this way? And so it's troubleshooting for you. It's like a personal consultant for you on your issues and your assignments and your questions. So the next thing I wanted to share was just people have taken our classes from all these really strange circumstances. It's online, so it's worldwide. We've had teachers from, you know, Europe, China, South America, Brazil take our courses, and they're struggling with the same things all teachers are struggling with all around the world. We have a common bond. We had one teacher who signed up for a class and said, oh no, I'm going camping in Arizona, and we will have Wi-Fi, but it's pretty rustic for 2.5 weeks. She completed the entire class while camping on her iPad, and she thought she was just multitasking away. We had another teacher who was doing a road trip across the country and decided that she was going to try to take the class, and she had her laptop connected to her phone doing a little transmitting of the internet signal and responding to people from the app, and she was just going crazy with it, and she was traveling across the country. And so I think it's just, in today's day and age, we all need flexibility, and I think we've seen some neat examples of how teachers are using the classes creatively to still get their hours in, but not have to give up everything and be away from their family on the evenings and things like that. So at this time, you know, I just want to share that we have course schedules come out every quarter. So in the fall, you can see what classes we're offering. September's classes are already running. They start on the 1st of every month. So all of October's classes will start on October 1st, and that's a pretty fast and hard start date because, remember, they're paced by week. So you definitely can't just jump in halfway through. You need to complete all the weeks to get the assignments in. We really pack in the assignments to get 3 degree level grad credits, their semester credits, in 5 weeks is a lot of work. But I'm all of the philosophy, like, once you're on the topic, hit it hard and be done. I don't like to drag things out because we're all very busy. So that's kind of the philosophy there. We work really hard for a short amount of time, and you can get your credits in. And then we'll be releasing the winter schedule very soon as well. Someone is asking if Indiana accepts our course credits for license renewal. We can definitely look into that. You'd want to, I've had many teachers from Indiana take our courses. I just have to look for sure, but they, most states have accepted HLC, so that is what you need to ask your state for. We haven't had a state turn it down at this point. It's the Higher Learning Commission. It's a national accreditation. If you have any other questions, feel free to just put them into the chat bar. And at this time, I have, before I take more of your questions and comments, I have a little poll for you because we're developing new courses all the time. We are aiming to get very specific topics that matter to you, something that you need to know, something that you are curious about, something that your school isn't serving you appropriately with. So we're going to do a quick poll here. If you could vote for me and tell us kind of which classes you feel would be interesting for us to offer next. What class interests you most for the future? And we'll try to meet art teachers' needs and help you with exactly what you need. Looks like we have quite a few art teachers saying student growth in art, which I definitely agree. Assessment is one thing, but showing growth is a whole nother ball game. Looks like making cultural connections and navigating the new core art standards are kind of pulling in second, a tie for second here. Definitely thank you for your feedback, and please feel free to put in the chat bar or email us anything else that you have ideas for our courses too. We already have covered like so many topics, but as things change, we want to be responsive to what you need. We're here for art teachers, and I know not a lot of people are thinking about that. So I'm going to close the voting. Thank you for the feedback, and I'll welcome more of your ideas. And at this time, I kind of went through it fast and furious. You can find a lot of the information online, but I just wanted to give a personal chance for you to ask questions, talk with me, and I'll try to answer them either in the chat bar or verbally here. What questions do you have about our courses here? Do you have classes during the summer? Someone had asked. And yes, we absolutely do. Summer's probably our busiest time when teachers have extra time. We always add more classes in the summer and then usually continue that through the school year. You'd be surprised that a lot of people are trying to chip away at credits and they're taking quite a few during the school year. So a lot of schools provide professional development, but sometimes it's hard to find such a specific class like iPads in the art room, managing the art room, assessment in art education. I know I never found anything quite like that. Anyone else have any specific questions or unanswered queries about our classes? We definitely have a team of instructors that teach the courses along with myself, and everyone is a master art educator and ready to kind of lead you along the journey. A lot of teachers take our courses for working towards a pay raise as well. I think, we all know that investing in our education is a great thing, and if we can use it in the classroom, it's even better. So, do you think you can convince your cooperating university that grants AOE grad credits to create a master's degree for us? That's an excellent question, actually something that's really burning on our to-do list. We can use our credits in their master's degree program online. So it's the master's in teaching through Morningside online. It's just a general teaching master's. 15 out of the 30 credits you can take through us as an elective strand, and then you take your core from them. So it's an art education focused master's degree, but it's not an actual art ed degree. And I would love to create that, and it's one of my goals. It's easier said than done at this point, but it's definitely something we'd love to do and get teachers to get that entire degree. You can definitely visit our classes page though, and you can go to the Morningside website and look into their online teaching masters. They have quite a bit of information in what states, talking to them about which states they're offering it in. Some states, there's different partnerships between states. So someone says, do I have to take the course for college credit to use it for license renewal? Every state is very different, and we're looking into exactly what is required for each state. Some states require that you have a graduate level credit for license renewal. Other states require that you are just simply logging so many hours, which are then translated into things like PD points, contact hours. And you can take our classes for no credit and get your hours, your contact hours. Now, if your state accepts that, then you don't need the grad credit. A lot of teachers will get the grad credit just to be safe because they also want to use them for other things, or they want to be safe with that. Yep. Thanks for the 15 out of their 30 credits for their masters will count towards the online teaching masters. So yeah.